I was 15 when my heart stopped beating. For 6 long minutes I was gone. No breath, no pulse, no heartbeat. Just silence and something else. You've probably heard the stories how people see the light, how they meet angels, how they return with comfort and hope. But what I saw was nothing like that. What I saw, I wish I could forget. In those minutes beyond life, I learned something that shattered everything I believed about death and about what waits for us after it. It wasn't peaceful. It wasn't loving. And it certainly wasn't the heaven I had been taught to expect. I came back with a truth that few dare to speak aloud. A truth so disturbing that most who know it choose silence over sharing. And yet, here I am, telling you because you deserve to know. It happened on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon in 203, ordinary at least, until it wasn't. Lunch had been nothing remarkable. Bosco sticks with marinara sauce, the kind of meal I'd eaten hundreds of times before in the noisy school cafeteria. I remember the chatter of my friends, the fluorescent lights flickering above, the faint smell of disinfectant mixed with pizza grease. I remember thinking about homework and the walk home. Nothing more, but a few hours later, as I stepped off the school bus, something in me began to unravel. A wave of nausea hit without warning, rolling through my stomach like a storm surge. My skin turned clammy, sweat gathering at the back of my neck. Then came the flutter, a strange, erratic quiver deep in my chest. I stopped walking. My legs felt hollow, like they were made of air. And then nothing. I didn't see the car until it screeched to a stop just inches from my head. A woman jumped out, her voice trembling as she called my name, though I didn't know her. She shook my shoulder, desperately trying to pull me back. But I was already somewhere else. The paramedics arrived quickly, though time had already lost its meaning for me. My heart wasn't beating. Blood wasn't moving. I was, in every medical sense, gone. They worked frantically as they loaded me into the ambulance. Compressions, electric shocks, urgent voices cutting through the chaos. But I was already beginning a journey no human is truly prepared for. It began with light, blinding, infinite, all-consuming. The kind of light that doesn't just shine, it envelops you, seeps into you, becomes you. There was peace at first, a feeling of welcome, of release. My body, if I still had one, felt weightless. I was rising, though not in any physical sense. Barriers, gates, thresholds, whatever they were, passed by effortlessly, and I felt as though I was entering a place beyond anything words could hold. And yet, something was wrong. I expected joy. I expected love. I expected what I had been told my entire life, that angels would greet me, that God's presence would fill me with warmth and understanding. But the figures that surrounded me were nothing like the visions from my Sunday school books. They were powerful, yes, but not kind, not loving. I reached out instinctively, like a child seeking comfort. They shackled me instead. The sensation wasn't physical, yet it was absolute. A restraint that pressed not on my arms or legs, but on my very essence. I was collared, leashed, bound in a way that made my soul ache. And in that instant, I understood. These were not angels. They were overlords, cold, mocking, indifferent to my fear. One of them spoke, though not with words. Its presence invaded my thoughts like an unwelcome intruder, planting truths I didn't want. Cruel truths. It told me that our universe was no accident, no miracle. It was a farm, a carefully constructed system designed not for our benefit, but for theirs. We were the crop, Consciousness itself was the harvest. My mind reeled. I thought of every sermon I'd ever heard, every story of heaven's gates and God's mercy. Lies, they told me. Lies meant to keep us docile until the day we were collected. And then came the grief. Not mine exactly, but something deeper, a cosmic sorrow so raw it tore through me like glass. Imagine the worst pain you've ever felt, the loss of someone you loved beyond words, multiplied until it became unbearable. That was the currency here. That was the food they fed on. 6 minutes. That's what the doctor said. But in that place, it felt like centuries. I was toyed with, examined, prodded like a mouse in the claws of a cruel cat. And the more I despaired, the more they seemed to enjoy it. When they finally released me, it wasn't mercy, it was command. They told me I would return to my body. They told me I would keep silent. And they promised no. They guaranteed that if I spoke of them, my return to that place would be far worse. I woke in a hospital bed, my chest aching from the shocks that had dragged me back. My parents were there, relief and fear etched into their faces. The doctors called it a miracle. I called it a reprieve, but the knowledge stayed. Every heartbeat since that day has been a reminder of what waits for us when the last one fades. And yet, I'm speaking now, because fear is no excuse for letting a lie live forever. For years after that day, I carried the weight of silence like a second heart, always beating, always there, impossible to ignore. I tried to live normally, to be the same person I had been before. I went to school, laughed with friends, celebrated birthdays. But underneath every smile was the memory of chains around my soul. Whenever I heard someone speak about going to a better place, my stomach tightened. I wanted to interrupt, to tell them the truth. But I remembered the warning, the promise of something worse if I revealed what I knew. And I believed it. I believed it more than I believed in anything else. So I kept my mouth shut for years. Then one day, I sat in the back row of a book reading by a well-known author. His story was the opposite of mine. He spoke about meeting God, feeling unconditional love, seeing departed relatives. The audience was captivated. They wanted to believe him. When it was time for questions, I raised my hand. I looked him straight in the eyes and asked, "Did you really meet God?" He smiled. He nodded. He gave the same answer he'd given 100 times before. And I knew by the flicker in his gaze, by the subtle tightening of his jaw, that he was lying. He had seen what I had seen, and he had chosen comfort over truth. That was the moment I understood something important. People don't just avoid the truth because they fear it. They avoid it because once you know it, you can never unknow it. You can never go back to the comfort of believing the stories you were told as a child. For a time, I even questioned myself. Doctors said it was brain trauma, oxygen deprivation, a hallucination my mind created to survive the shutdown of my body. Friends suggested I had been influenced by the books I'd read or the fears I'd carried. Part of me wanted to believe them because believing them meant I could sleep at night. But deep down, I knew, I still know, the most dangerous thing about my experience wasn't the fear, it was the clarity. The understanding that life, as fragile as it is not the whole journey. And the rest of the journey is nothing like what we hope for. Here's the truth I've learned. Fear can silence you. But silence doesn't protect you, it only protects the lie. And lies, no matter how comforting, leave us unprepared for reality. If I had kept quiet forever, I might have kept my promise to them. But humanity would lose a chance to face what's coming with open eyes. Even if the truth is dark, knowing it gives us the power to choose how we live before we get there. I've stopped thanking God for my survival not because I'm ungrateful for life, but because I now see that gratitude is something we owe to each other, here and now, while we are still free. The afterlife isn't a reward. This is breathing, bleeding, loving, hurting. This is the reward. And if my 6 minutes in death taught me anything, it's that the best way to prepare for what waits is to live with a fierceness that refuses to waste a single heartbeat. When I came back from those 6 minutes, I understood one thing clearly. Life is short, life is precious, and life is the only freedom we have. So now, whenever I wake up in the morning, I say to myself, I'm still here. I have today. This is your first phrase for today. I'm still here. I have today. It means you feel grateful to be alive right now. Let's practice. Repeat after me. Slowly. I'm still here. I have today. One more time. A little faster. I'm still here. I have today. The second phrase is something I tell people when they ask how I live now. Every heartbeat counts. It means every moment matters, so don't waste it. Let's practice. Every heartbeat counts. Again, with feeling. Every heartbeat counts. You see, these aren't just words, they're a choice. A choice to live fully, love deeply, and stop waiting for someday. Because here's the truth. Someday is not promised. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. The only thing you truly own is now. So live today like it matters, because it does.